have made it to Friday, party day, the fourth day of the fourth month. It's always a fun one. 9:05, it's our daily show. And if you're like me, you are ready for this work week to be over, and we're almost there. Just a few more hours. Looks like we made it. Hey, good show for all of you guys today. Coming up in a couple of minutes' time, we're talking again with our friends at Keith Short and Associates and getting the latest from that office and just some of the great work they do for the region. And then coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, more great conversations that I hope you stay tuned for, too, and we'll dive into that part of the show in a couple of minutes. Steve Litman Presents will join us along with Pro Wrestling Epic. I'm running behind today. I'm sorry. Top of the hour news now. Here's what you need to know. Join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week with that daily email update. We'll take you to Godfrey first. In a recent appeal, Eric Cramner, the fire chief of the Godfrey Fire Protection District, expressed his concern over the Village of Godfrey trustees' decision to dismiss plans for expanding ambulance services. He highlighted a proposal from September of 2023 to lease the old fire station to improve emergency response capabilities, which went unacknowledged. Cramner criticized the relocation of services to Roxana, emphasizing the reliable emergency services that are crucial for the safety of residents. With Alton Memorial as the sole ambulance provider, he stresses the need for additional support to ensure faster response times and better care in emergencies. He urges trustees to prioritize the community needs. We'll keep you updated as more details on that topic keep emerging from additional village board meetings. Also in the news today, a new indoor recreational field house featuring basketball and volleyball courts is set to be built at Plummer Family Park in Edwardsville, thanks to a partnership with Lucky 13 Hoops, owned by local native Mark Thomas. Mayor Art Rizvi announced this exciting development, which will encompass 45,000 square feet, including 5 high school regulation-sized basketball courts, which then can transform into 8 to 10 volleyball courts. The facility aims to enhance sports opportunities for youth and adults, hosting leagues, training, and tournaments, with the addition of Shoot 360, a cutting-edge basketball training program. The field house is expected to significantly benefit the community. One final news story for you today, because it is a lighter Friday. Kinston Willis, a second grader at LeClaire Elementary School, has been recognized as our Student of the Month for his outstanding kindness and hard work. Known for his belief that being kind is essential to friendship, Kingston has shown significant growth in his ability to use kinder words. His teacher praises his imagination and humor, highlighting his dedication to being a good friend and a hard worker. Outside of school, Kingston enjoys singing, learning about tornadoes, and dreams of becoming a police officer one day, inspired by his mother. How cool. Congratulations to Kingston from all of us here at RiverBender.com for this well-deserved recognition for the Student of the Month. Finally, in the news today, just a little bit of an update on those storms that were coming through the region a couple of days ago, and we'll have more details on weather soon. A confirmed tornado did touch down in Washington County on April the 2nd, causing damage to the area, according to the National Weather Service. That tornado was a part of that severe system that affected all of us, coinciding with the heavy rain forecast for our region. Meteorologist Patrick Walsh did note that while flash flooding is not anticipated, drainage issues may arise due to the excessive rainfall from Thursday to Saturday. So something to keep an eye out for if you have some problem spots in your yard or in your foundation. The St. Louis region could see totals up to 5 inches of rain. Residents are urged to stay informed and exercise caution while navigating hazardous conditions. And that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend on a Friday morning. That flood watch is still into effect until April the 6th at 1 a.m., so please be mindful of that. There are several rounds of showers and thunderstorms that are expected through Saturday night for this region, with the heaviest rainfall and the greatest threat of flash flooding this evening into early overnight. Moderate to major river flooding is possible in response to heavy rainfall amounts. Right now it's 46 degrees. It feels like 46 out there. Today, some sun, then it will turn cloudy. A shower this morning, followed by periods of rain, some heavy, and a thunderstorm this afternoon. Watch for flooding. Tonight, periods of rain. some heavy, and a thunderstorm. The repeated storms can bring damaging winds, and the risk of a significant flash flooding event, creating dangerous travel. So just be mindful of that. If you guys have any evening plans, might be best to buckle up at home. Air quality today is 35, which is good. Grass levels are low, mold is low, ragweed's moderate, and the tree levels are too. And good day for a Claritin. Temperatures today reach 54. They will drop down to 46 overnight. We still got rain in the forecast for the next 2 days. On Saturday, a high of 48 degrees and a low of 36 as we head into Sunday. On Sunday, the 6th day of April, a high of 50, partly sunny skies, and a low of 32 degrees. And on Monday, a high of 57, a low of 28. No rain in the forecast, and we'll see a lot of sun. And then on Tuesday, all sun in the sky, no clouds, a high of 52, and a low of 39 degrees in the 618. And that's what it'll look like for the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now at 9:12, 46 degrees. It does feel like it out there for time and temperature throughout the day. 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back Rehab Recover. Return home. You can also stay up to date in real time all the time by just downloading the RiverBender.com app. Hey, while I have you, back to business on our daily show. Let me fill you in on barbecue done right. You know what I'm saying here? Head to Carver's Barbecue, where every bite is as good as it looks. You know, from tendered pulled pork to the best brisket in town and their legendary ribs, Carver's knows how to bring bold flavors to the table. And don't forget to try their brisket burgers. Those things are out of this world, loaded with all of the good stuff. Stop by 2716 Groveland Street in Godfrey today, or just go to carversbbq.com and order online. Or, better yet, do the CJ experience. You go into lunch, bring a couple of bucks with you, you put it into the slot machine, your lunch is paid for, hopefully, or you might just have to spend $80 on a $10 meal. Who knows? Just saying, the slot machines are there, and you could win big at Carver's, too. CarversBBQ.com. Don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back. Start this show off on a Friday on a good note and see where the morning takes us. But first, let's take a look at downtown Alton.
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
9:18, welcome back to this Friday morning. It is party day. 4-4, you know? Did you know that's what they call that? I only use it as an excuse to go out more, but...
Did you just make it up, CJ?
No, okay, kind of. My 5th grade teacher at Gilson Brown, Mr. Berghoff, told us it was party day, and then ever since then, I just kind of took that and made it my own.
Shout out to Paul.
Oh, I'm telling you, coming in clutch with the cash and everything. I learned a lot in that. How are things at Keith Short and Associates?
We're doing great. We're growing.
We can see.
Yes.
That's right.
So I want to introduce everybody to Andrew Luther. He started at our office today.
This is day one?
Well, this week. I'm sorry. This week. He started Monday, and he's getting his feet wet on this side of the river and on this side of the practice of law. So Andrew did defense work up until now, and kind of want to let him talk about what made him switch and give the people a little bit of an idea of what to expect if they think they've had a medical malpractice case.
Yeah, so I've been working for Mr. Short for about a week, but in the last 17 years, I did med mal defense, worked for doctors, represented doctors in medical malpractice cases, tried cases on behalf of doctors, hospitals, things like that. And recently kind of made a decision that I really wanted to work on the plaintiff side. And the reason I wanted to work on plaintiff side is that when it comes to defense cases, you really don't get to choose your clients all the time. You're kind of assigned somebody.
Yeah.
On the plaintiff side, you can really choose, or you don't have a choice because you do have a choice. You're choosing who you want to work for. You're choosing the good cases. You're choosing the clients that you want to work, that you want to help out. And the very best people, the very best cases are the ones that we're trying to work on the plaintiff side. And, trying to help people is something that I've always really, really been about. And I'm really excited to kind of be switching over to do that.
Well, and that's got to be kind of an interesting transition for you too, especially with all that time there. And do you think, just take me through the first week, or just some of your mindset changes, because I'm sure that's kind of fascinating, if it's okay for me to ask that.
Well, so from a professional perspective, one of the first things that's very different is that on the defense side, everything's about billable hours and how much you bill. On the plaintiff side, you really get to choose the work you want to do, the work that's most important. And you can be more efficient, in my opinion. So I think that's probably the thing I really like the most so far. Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you think you're going to be able to take away? Especially with all that background on the other side. I wouldn't want to go to court with you. I'm telling you that
now. Well, and so that's another interesting thing is that there's a way that these cases are tried in a certain way. We get on the defense side, and there's certain tips and tricks you kind of learn. And I think one of the things that I'm bringing to Mr. Short's firm is my experience on the defense side, trying these cases, what these companies are thinking, what they're not thinking, what goes through their minds. And I think that's really kind of a valuable thing that I can bring to Mr. Short's firm. And I'm really excited to kind of come over and bring that experience and transfer it over to the plaintiff side.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, and now, when we're talking about, medical malpractice and just this as at large, what can this all encompass? Because I know that that's kind of it could be a pretty broad term, correct?
Sure. So med mal encompasses kind of everything. Mr. Short's office on defense and plaintiff, we represent all kinds of clients from cases generally that involve medical negligence, either a doctor, a hospital, nurse practitioner, or someone like that has made a mistake. There are many good doctors out there, but sometimes doctors make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And so those are the types of cases that we'll be involved in, where someone is either injured. Unfortunately, sometimes people pass away or die, and it's because of a clinician's negligence. And those are the kind of cases that we'll work on, and we'll represent our clients in those cases, or maybe their family members, and then try to get them a good result.
How important is it to, and this, I hope it comes off the right way, is it to keep the emotional balance in that too? Because, I'm somebody that the moment, especially if someone happens to someone's family member or you never know what happens, but say someone's gone because of that. And there's that advocacy, and I'm sure balancing that mental aspect to it and the emotional aspect of it too, so you're still getting the full vision and the full plain view for your clients.
It's very difficult at times.
I could only imagine, seriously.
We've had clients that, just recently we had a client that passed away very shortly after her deposition, and it's emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
You interact with that client, you become close to them, they don't make it, and now you still have to press on with this case, and you have to be pragmatic about it, you have to be realistic about it, but we would be lying if we said we weren't emotional about it.
Right.
We can't take that out of the equation.
No, and that's where I find this work so fascinating, because it's so involved. And I mean, you're touching every aspect of a family sometimes when you're looking at some of these cases, or just someone's life, and you're really examining it. And that's really just where I think it's so crucial here. And now, what are the steps? So when someone makes that first phone call, and obviously a situation happens, we know that there's something there. What do those steps kind of look like, that initial conversation, and really just kind of what that first step in the path looks like?
So I'm on day 5. So as far as those steps is how they go, there's an initial intake process where you talk to your client, you say, why are you here?
Right.
And if you think they have a case, you'll look at medical records. But that's probably something maybe you'd be better to talk about, because
it's difficult too, because a bad result doesn't necessarily mean there was negligence. There are natural consequences of medical procedures and things like that happen. And sometimes you just get a bad result, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's been malpractice. So the way you kind of judge malpractice and the legal standard that's used in that case is, was there a violation from the standard of care? So if the average careful surgeon does X, Y, and Z, and the surgeon in this case left out Z, then we probably have a medical negligence case.
Wow.
But if they did X, Y, and Z, and there was just a bad result, or somebody had other comorbidities, you know, another health condition.
Is there
that
like
kinda,
an act of God thing in that too?
Kind of, yeah. I
like-
mean, there's certainly, you know, people just pass away, but if the doctor did everything as they were supposed to do, that's not a case we're going to take.
Right.
We really do try to only take cases that we truly believe that there was some negligent act. We're not just going to take anything that walks through the door.
And the other thing I'd add is sometimes even if you have a doctor who, like, let's say a doctor clearly messed up and made a mistake, you also have to have the second part, which is damages. And so a lot of times, I had my mother-in-law many years ago, she had a knee injury and the surgeon did not do a great job. He nicked a artery and she was bleeding. And she said, you know, I think I've got a good case. I was like, you have a good case. I said, but, you know, how are you doing today? And she says, well, I'm absolutely fine. I said, okay, well, how much time were you in the hospital because of them nicking that artery? She said, about a day and a half. And she goes, so how much is my case worth? And I said, about a day and a half's worth of hospital bills because you're doing fine. So that's the second part. I think sometimes people don't realize.
Christmas was interesting.
Well, that's what happens when your daughter marries an attorney, right? So, but I think that's the second element. A lot of times people don't think about. They think, oh my gosh, the doctor clearly screwed up. But you also have to have that second part.
Yeah.
That injury is actually permanent, and that the damages you have are actually more beyond just what he did was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, these cases cost a lot of money to work up.
Well, I couldn't
we
imagine.
have to hire experts, and that's sometimes thousands and thousands of dollars that are out of our pocket.
That's
So
what
we're
I
not
was
going to
gonna
take
ask
it
you.
if we don't think it's going to be, something that we can recoup those costs on. We can't. We'd be bankrupt.
Now, do you ever have an opportunity? This was what I felt just thinking about this earlier when you guys came on. If a surgeon has an issue, or because just going back to that topic, because I'm sure there's still so many other ways, but he has an issue. But can you find out if there wasn't any sleep the night before, like a truck driver, if he's into a semi-auto crash and they didn't log their? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, so that's called discovery. So throughout the process, you're going to ask all kinds of questions. You ask them about their training. You ask them about other bad outcomes that they may have had to kind of try to develop a pattern of maybe, hey, you kind of had this bad outcome repeatedly and it's not an accident anymore.
Right.
You're just not taking care of your patients appropriately. So yeah, through the discovery process, you can really kind of dive into, are there any other things that may have caused this to happen?
I feel like discovery would have to be the part where you guys are like, this is where your office shines, and where you really get the bulk of your case, kind of figured out and almost settled.
100%. Yeah, discovery makes or breaks your case. You might go in and take some depositions or get some medical records that really build your case up, and you think, okay, now we're really in a position to take this thing all the way to trial, and we're going to win. Or the other side kind of happens. You get a medical record that shows that you had this, same injury before, or it's a pre-existing condition, or you didn't tell the doctor about something that you should have told the doctor about, and all of a sudden our case completely falls apart. So discovery does absolutely make or break a case.
Well, and when I used to work on the defense, we'd often call discovery a fishing expedition, because it's just about throwing that fishing pole out from plaintiff's side and bringing in whatever they can, and it would sometimes be frustrating to the defense side, but working on the plaintiff side, it's important because everything can potentially be relevant to a case. I mean, really small things that you wouldn't think are important can become very, very much important.
Well, and when you were defending, your clients, initially, take me through, just some of the things whenever a discovery period is happening, what the defendant side of thing kind of looks for. Is it just kind of a just wait and see, or just kind of just a reactionary thing, or what's that look like?
Well, so discovery in the medical malpractice cases are actually pretty typical. So it's pretty normal information that you'll receive. Now there is some more with electronic medical records now.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing has become much more detailed. And for example, when a doctor enters something in a chart in a medical record, you can actually now go into the medical record and see exactly when it's entered by getting the information from the IT provider. So that's information that plaintiffs are asking for.
So they can't go back and enter it at a different date.
Right.
Right?
So if they alter a medical record after the fact, that's tracked now.
Right.
Now that things are digital.
Or not even altering a medical record. Sometimes, a chart entry will be placed in there, and that's just because that's when the chart's being signed off. Doesn't mean that's actually when it occurred. So
right, that's true too. See, that's interesting. I like this. Well, and when you were talking about the medical mal side of things too, what are some of the I hate to ask this, but what are some of the worst types of cases? Is it the ones where the plaintiff, the individual is not there, the victim's not there anymore? Or is it there one? Because what I could imagine with some of these is that you have a lot of, especially if the person's not there, maybe you have an internal thing going on with the family, or there's other things going on that kind of aren't distractions, but they also kind of slow down the process, I'm sure. I don't know if you...
Absolutely. I mean, we have situations where maybe the person who was injured and passed away had 2 children from 2 different mothers. And so now who's the proper, you have 2 people who may not agree on the course of action on how to move this case forward. And we as the plaintiff's attorney, which is something you never had to deal with on the defense side,
I'm learning
have
soon,
to bring these people together to have a cohesive path forward. Because if you don't, you're not going to ever advance that case if you can't get all the heirs on board as to how that case is going to move forward. So things like that you would never experience on the defense side. But, and to your question too, what case is worse? It really depends, because you have somebody who's got a severe injury, let's say, and they have to have caretakers for the rest of their life.
Right.
So you have to develop a life care plan, and you have to come up with numbers and specials of how much is it going to cost to care for this person for the rest of their life. Now, if that same person passed away, the question might be how much of their income has been lost to their family. Yeah. So one may be a lot higher than the other, just depending on their earning capacity, how bad their injuries were. Sometimes someone living, and this sounds terrible to say, and I don't mean it to sound that way, but someone living sometimes has a more value.
Yeah.
The case is more valuable than someone who passed away, just based on the expenses of the care that they're going to need for the rest of their life. So every case is so very different.
100%. And, when it comes to the medical mal side, we were talking a little about like physician's assistants. So does that go into like nursing homes and like individuals not being cared for there?
It is. We do handle nursing home cases. We've actually kind of reinvested in that area within the firm,
because it's been kind of a prevalent. It seemed like there's been a little bit more of those stories just floating around the region lately. I don't know why. Yeah.
Very sadly so. And the generations are aging.
True.
So as the population ages, there's more people in those facilities, more opportunities for things to go wrong in those facilities. Many of them, we find out, are very understaffed.
Yeah.
I can tell you, when I was working on the defense side, nursing home cases are always really hard to defend, because first of all, you usually are pretty understaffed, those facilities, and also the emotions. You're dealing with elderly people, some who have dementia, and some of these other issues, and they're just tough cases. So,
I couldn't imagine. That's what I was wondering too, because I've seen a couple of those and didn't know how that transferred over for you guys. But that's very interesting to hear about.
Yeah, I mean, in our office, we consider it. They're hand in hand, but we consider it a different area of law, because there are different statutes that apply and things like that. But we definitely handle both of those types of cases.
Interesting. Yeah. When we'll take a quick break here, and we'll come back, talk workers' comp, and have some more insights in the studio here on this Friday morning. 46 degrees still. It ain't changing out there, but we'll come back with more after this.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting, and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
We're gonna take a trip across the sea. Everybody come along with me. We're gonna hit the bank down in Cape Paris.
Welcome back, 9:36. A little bit of change on this Friday morning. A little ELO for me today. Need to get the spirits up. It's cold outside, a little muggy.
It's kind of dreary.
Yeah. Would that be a good day for a courtroom? Or do you like a sunny day? Like if you had to pick?
I mean, I want the sunny day on Saturday when I'm outside. I'll take this day to be in the courtroom.
So workers, we're coming back and talking about workers' comp a little bit. And, take me through, that's a bigger portion of what you guys are doing over at the office, correct, too?
It's about 50-50. So,
really?
Keith and Andrew now are doing all the med mal and that kind of stuff. I run the workers' compensation department in addition to the estate planning and probate that we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. I started doing workers' compensation right out of law school. I actually started straight into that, which was kind of unique. And there were no female plaintiffs lawyers back then. So I was I stood out in the courtroom for that, for sure. But yeah, we just want to talk about, so many people have some misconceptions about it, and we get so many of the same questions. We thought it might be helpful to inform people kind of what is a workers' compensation case, what is it, what's not, and what do you need to know?
Well, see, for workers' comp, for me, just like at a nutshell, I feel kind of like it gets a bad rap sometimes because it's such a needed thing, and there's folks that take these tremendous accidents at work or something happens, and their life's completely altered.
Absolutely.
And then, I'm sure on the flip side of it, you have maybe the individual that maybe is a little bit disgruntled and has that, whatever situation happens, and then boom, here I won $150,000 for my bad back for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So we try really hard to differentiate those clients.
I know you do. And that's why, Holly, I don't know how you do it, because I'd be looking at somebody going, okay, now, all righty here. Half hour's up.
Sometimes, you always try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it's so important because people they get hurt at work. They're scared. They're scared, is my job going to be impacted?
Right.
Do I even report this? Or am I going to suffer at the hands of my employer for reporting this? So there's all these emotions that come with that. I mean, it's your livelihood. It's the most important thing you have going besides your family.
Well, and especially right now where it seems like finding that solid job, because there's job opportunities, but they aren't always the most solid for people right now. So to go through that, especially when maybe things are tight, that's got to be challenging.
Yeah, and I've had clients before who were afraid to report their injury, so they waited until they left the job and then reported the injury, only to find out that they violated the first rule, which is you have to report the injury within 45 days or you get no compensation.
Right.
You can be, you can literally have a bone sticking out of your leg, and if you didn't tell the employer and make it known within 45 days, you don't get any compensation for that. So it's important to act quickly. Mm-hmm. It's important to understand the medical aspect of it. So in Illinois, for instance, you're able to choose your own doctor to treat through medical malpractice. However, you are limited in the choice of doctors that you have. So you're only allowed to choose 2 doctors you're choosing and then any referrals that they would refer you to. But so often people go to their primary care doctor only to find out that doctor is not an orthopedist, can't work on a bad back or a shoulder injury. Or they get their primary care refers them to an orthopedist, and then they find out that orthopedist won't take workers' compensation insurance.
Yeah.
Or won't give a deposition if necessary in their case. So it's really important. That's why we suggest getting an attorney early on in the process to make sure that you've provided notice, and to make sure that you are with a doctor that actually will accept payment from workers' compensation and is going to participate in your case, giving a deposition, things like that.
Is that something you've run into countless times?
So many times.
Really? Okay.
So many times where they've been treated. They've maybe even received excellent treatment through their group insurance, but now when they try to take it to the work comp realm, the doctor won't provide a deposition, so we have no testimony to take to court, and we don't have, they won't accept a work comp payment. It's a mess.
Well, and when we talk about work comp too, I think this is fascinating for folks because, when I think a lot of people think of workman's comp, I'm thinking of a lineman that falls, and has this, nasty day at work, or, someone at a factory somewhere. But there's also, I'm sure, the other side of workers' comp that could, encompass a whole lot more than the slip and fall and the major accident.
Absolutely. I mean, there's repetitive injuries.
Yeah.
I've repeatedly lifted boxes, and now I have a back injury that wasn't a specific fall or something like that. It's repetitive. Carpal tunnel from, legal assistance typing for hours and hours a day.
Right.
Any of those kind of things.
Well, and
there's the repetitive nature and there's the acute nature.
Well, and someone might chuckle at that, but I mean, that's a life-altering thing because you got to stop, typing after, 25 years and you need another 5 to go to get to where you need to be. That's a big problem.
It absolutely is. And so many people, we have so many clients that had a job, and it was the job that they could do based on their education, their background, their training. Mm-hmm. And once that job's gone, they can't find employment. I mean, it truly is life-altering. And sometimes it's a relatively minor injury that kicks somebody out of their job because they have a lifting restriction, and they did heavy manual labor. Now with the lifting restriction, they can't do that job anymore. Yeah. So it's really important to understand those things. The other thing is car accidents. People don't think about the fact that if you are in a car accident while you are on the job, that is a workers' compensation case.
No, seriously?
It is.
I didn't
absolutely.
Even it makes sense now that you say that, but you're right. I wouldn't even have thought that at all.
Not on your way to the office,
Right.
not on your way home from the office, but if it's in the middle of the day, let's say I'm on my way to court.
Okay.
It's a perfect example. I've left the office, I'm driving to the courthouse, I get in an accident. That's a workers' compensation case. And here's the interesting thing about workers' compensation, which is very different from anything else we do. It's a no-fault system. So let's say the accident was my fault. I wasn't paying attention and I ran a red light.
Yeah.
I still was hurt in the course and scope of my employment. I still am entitled to compensation for that injury. Now, on the flip side of that, we have clients that'll come in and want to tell us all about the crappy conditions that their employer had.
Right.
They have things stacked up to the ceiling and boxes everywhere, and I tripped and I fell. That doesn't matter either because it's a no-fault system.
Yeah.
So you don't get more compensation because the employer
It makes sense.
created
It's a two-way
a
street.
worse condition for you. But at the same time, you are compensated in a situation where as long as it's in the course and scope, as long as it wasn't intentional, you can't run your car into a bridge. But if it's truly an accident, even if you were the at-fault driver, if you are in the scope of your employment, it's still compensable.
Wow. That's fat. So like if someone is, let's say they leave the office to go to a lunch meeting and they get into a wreck, that would still be part of the workers' comp claim.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Like
going to
if
be
it's a work
if
meeting.
it is a work meeting. Yeah, if the employer has said you need to go meet with this client.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Wow.
So it's not. So many people think of workers' compensation as being just manual labor
That's
jobs.
right. That's why I started off with that because that to me is where everyone I think would go.
But no, there are absolutely office jobs that end up right in the same space.
This is an interesting question, and I don't know if you've experienced it. Have you had someone in there for, maybe they were a data, an analyst for 30 years and they've lost their eyes are completely impaired and they can't see because they spent 9 hours or 12 hours looking at a bright. You know what I'm saying? I've always wondered if that was ever going to start happening.
I don't think I've had one like that.
Or
That's an
staring at your
interesting.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, now that would be what the defense side, I think, would have to say.
Do you see how it went right to the defense brain?
And I would probably agree with you.
We're still training him. We'll get him up to speed on this.
Well, but I could see that, actually, I've noticed my wife and I both, probably just because we're getting older, but because we're looking at phones and laptops, everybody's looking at screens all day, our eyes are getting
really bad.
Fast.
Way faster than it used to be the case.
Yeah.
That's why I just thought of, that would be something I would think of being an interesting one to kind of
Yeah, that's not one I've come across, but I could see, and it all comes, everything with work comp comes to the doctors. Right. So you would have to have a doctor say that this is the cause and not this, to the exclusion of your personal screen time.
That makes sense.
So
what is the most interesting one you've had?
Oh, that's tough. I've had some very traumatic ones that stick in my head, like explosions and fires and somebody who's been hit.
Oh.
Yeah. That was one recently.
Wow.
Yeah. And not only was he burned, but he also fell several feet when this this machine exploded. You have all kinds, and sometimes we have really interesting ones where one thing leads to another.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I have one that was a back surgery, and it should have been a rather routine surgery, but she developed a complication from the surgery, and now has blood clotting issues. Mm-hmm. And so, so now the case has grown because of the natural consequence of the progression of things. And, as long as the doctors are saying, okay, the injury was caused by work, the surgery was required because of the injury, and this consequence of the surgery happened, it all ties back. As long as you can connect all the links of that chain, what's the way lawyers talk about it a lot. Can we connect the links of the chain?
It seems like you're your own Sherlock Holmes in a way too. It really, when you're doing this, because I'm sure you have a whole you've got teams and experts and all that, but when you're doing this, you have to really be focused on who you're talking to and the information you're gathering, because one slip up, I'm sure, on a conversation with somebody could potentially derail everything.
Absolutely. And with medical records being like they are now, everything's documented.
Right.
So, you go to your client and you say, okay, why does this medical record say that you said this?
Yeah, right.
Now we have to have a really uncomfortable conversation and try to figure out if this can be fixed or if you kind of derailed
whenever
the whole
you
thing.
worked at Walmart and you fell and hurt your back too, let me ask you about
Right.
That's interesting.
Or I had a client that told the hospital that he hurt his back a week prior while he was on a float trip and jumped off of a cliff.
Oh, no.
And we didn't know until we're weeks into the case,
and
get that medical record.
Oh, no. That's an angry phone call.
It is a very angry phone call. I do not mislead, and I do not like being misled.
Oh, my gosh. No, that's not. Well, with that being said, we had a couple of minutes left. What would you like for people to know about workers' comp before we say goodbye for now?
Yeah, so I just want,
is it workers or workmen's? What?
So it's workers.
Okay.
S' if we want to get very specific compensation in the state of Illinois.
Okay.
But every state kind of has their own.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was saying it right.
Really important. Take action immediately. Mm-hmm. If you think you've been hurt at work, notify the employer immediately. Seek medical treatment immediately. Those are the first two things. The third thing would be go ahead and find an attorney to help walk you through this process. Yeah. It will be 100% easier in the long run if you get an attorney at the start, not at the finish.
Absolutely. And, Andrew, before I let you go,
sure.
You're 5 days in, but what's your thought for folks that are, maybe, and honestly, because of what you're doing, experiencing something that's, kind of right now causing a hurdle, and what's your advice to them?
Well, so my advice to people is that if you think a doctor and a physician truly did something wrong, give us a call. And I think something that's really unique about Mr. Short's firm is I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and of course we've got the river here. And most attorneys will either practice in Illinois or Missouri, but they don't usually practice in both states. We take cases equally in both states. We take a lot of Missouri cases and Illinois cases, and that's something that is not really done by a lot of attorneys. They usually specialize in the state. And I'm obviously I took the bar exam in both states, have tried cases in both states. Keith has as well, and I think that's really something we bring that you're not going to see from a lot of firms on either plaintiff or defense side.
Absolutely. And how do we reach out to you?
Our website is www.siltrial.com, or give us a call. It's 618-254-0055, and we're right here in Alton, downtown, Market Street, 325 Market.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for stopping by, and
Thanks for
really
having us.
looking forward to the next one. No
Thank
problem. Our Friday morning continues right after this on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
You wanna stay out with your fancy friends? I'm telling you, it's gotta be the end. Don't bring me down. No, 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 no. I'll tell you once more before I get off the floor. Don't bring me down.
Welcome back. Ooh, man, I'm loud. 921, little bit of change. And great to always talk to Ed Wheatley, and another great book coming down the pipeline. Ed, I had to change microphones on the fly. One blew on me, and this one's just getting louder. How are you doing this Monday?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Baseball's going pretty well in this town.
You know, it's definitely off to a wonderful start, and I'm hoping we can keep this thing going and have a pretty good summer.
Well, I think so. I mean, a lot of people are down on the Cardinals. I've been, somewhat skeptical in the last 2 years because of things happening, but I've got a very upbeat view of this year. I think they're going to perform much better than everybody thinks, and I think the future is really bright under the philosophy of Chaim Bloom, who I did get to spend a bunch of time with this past January, and I think the good days are going to return.
Well, and on top of that, too, Ed, I'm right there with you. In this new book that you have, From St. Louis to Cooperstown, The Legends That Are Born and Made in the Gateway City, I mean, this is really, something that I think is coming out of the perfect time, especially right now with the momentum the way it is, couple of good games, and then now, people really invest into this history and nostalgia of really just, St. Louis baseball. And what better way to dive into the season than with this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we are the best baseball town in America. Everybody across the country says it, from players to Bob Costas, who's actually quoted those words right in some of my films. But the thing of this book is that people forget there's 346 men and one woman enshrined into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Now, the St. Louis franchise has 55 members who played one or more seasons, sometimes their whole career, in St. Louis for the Cardinals franchise. And then we've got an additional 9 others who are from the St. Louis Browns. And then we got 5 others from the Negro League. So to be the best baseball town in America, you got to know your complete history, not just the 13 that are hanging on the wall out in left field, of Musial and Brock and Gibson and Ozzie and LaRussa and Whitey. Who are the other members of this 55? I mean, because when you look at it, and these 55 men who in the franchise, they didn't play their whole careers. The Cardinals weren't always the primary team, but next to the Yankees and the New York Giants, the St. Louis Cardinals have the most people in the Hall of Fame, which is, just amazing. But we just need to remember who these other people were, because they are the foundation of this great franchise that you just spoke of.
Well, and right there too, Ed. I mean, that's why I'm sure this process and really getting this book put together has just got to be incredible for you, because you've had a lot of time to really dive deep into the St. Louis sports history as a whole. The Browns, all of it.
Right,
and
right.
How does it feel to really be able to put all of that together in this? Because that's really what it's just off the top of the page. That's what I'm kind of gathering from this too, just based on your past work.
Well, I think your listeners and the readers of the book are going to have, to an extent, the same what I call Harry Carey moments. Remember, Harry Carey's catchphrase was always "Holy cow!" As I would go through this and start building this history on some of these other men. Yeah, sure, we know Musial, we know Gibson, we know Brock, Ozzie, etc. But who were these other men? What did they do? Many of your viewers are going to remember April 1974, when they sat there and watched Hank Aaron break Babe Ruth's career home run record. Well, Ruth had retired in 35, and he had set that career record a long time ago, but who was the man who held the career home run record before Babe Ruth? He played for the Cardinals franchise. And, that's like, holy cow, do we ever hear about that? No, we don't. I mean, the greatest pitcher to ever pitch in baseball, Cy Young. They named a great pitching award after him. He won 511 games, but he spent 2 years with the Cardinals.
Right.
Won 46 games in 1899 and 1900. Yeah.
Well, and see, that's where I think this is so cool, Ed, because you hit it right on the head so many times. We talk about, baseball history, and like you said, there's the Mount Rushmores of the positions and what you want to throw out there, especially for the Cardinals, like you said, the left field wall. But whenever you have such a storied history and a storied franchise like this, and that's what it truly is. I mean, I'm not picking fun at nobody, but, it's not we aren't a newer franchise like the Tampa Bay Rays, and maybe have to, create some of that just because we don't have the 40, 50 years and 100 years.
Right.
And so.
Well, 150, buddy.
Yeah. Well, and, it's just my point. It's so incredible, though, Ed. It's like you're going down here. It's not just Cardinals history. It's really baseball history.
It is baseball history. I mean, and there are the unique, the funny ones, I guess you would say. It's not really funny, but he is in the Hall of Fame, but he didn't go into the Hall of Fame as a player because he only played one game in his entire major league career. And he played that game for the St. Louis Cardinals. He played 2 innings in one game, and in those 2 innings, he struck out in his only at-bat, and he made an error at the only ball hit to him. Walter Alton, who then went on to become a Hall of Fame manager with the Dodgers. But, I mean, these are those wow, holy cow moments as you go through this entire book. Who are these other men in the same way? Go back to the Negro Leagues in St. Louis. We had one of the greatest franchises, the Giants and Stars. They changed their name in 1921 when they changed ownership. But, today when the Negro Leagues and Major League combined their records 2 years ago, we have had the 3rd highest hitting career player in Major League in baseball. Oscar Charleston, he played here with the St. Louis Giants in 1920. So, the man who follows Josh Gibson and Ty Cobb for the greatest career batting average, he was in St. Louis, and 99% of the people in St. Louis don't know that.
And see, that's you hit it right on the head. And that's where I think this is going to be such a great book for everybody. I mean, especially now, I mean, I hate to say it, but we are kind of steamrolling through this year. Father's Day is going to be here before we know it. Mother's Day for the Cardinals fans in our lives, but also just the sports people and book lover. I mean, this is a great all-around piece because you're right. There's so many wow moments. And Ed, whenever you're putting this together, was there one for you? Because I know that you've been able to do all your research for such a long time on things like this, but even doing a book like this, was there one moment for you that kind of got you?
Yeah, there really is. You know, of the inductees, the 346 individuals that I spoke of, 23% of the inductees have St. Louis roots. That means 1 out of every 5, more than 1 out of every 5 men inducted in the Hall of Fame have St. Louis roots.
Wow.
And when you add that up to franchises, there have been 81 induction classes, okay? St. Louis, a St. Louis person has been included in those 81 inductions 54% of the time. Over half of the induction classes that take place there on that green in Cooperstown have a St. Louis roots. Now, I mean, that is pretty amazing. And that is why to have that many great men associated with baseball from St. Louis tells you why St. Louis is the greatest baseball town in America.
100% over. I mean, that alone is just kind of remarkable to me. That 54% now. I mean, in the next couple of years, that number is going to go up because you got 2 more getting ready to go in, and you know who knows.
You got 2, possibly 3. Yeah, but you're definitely, you know. I mean, you do this. It is that prominent. You always think, well, the Yankees and all that. You know that. The Cardinals are right there. The St. Louis teams are right there. And it really says something about the ownership, the leadership of the team, the quality of the players, you know. You look what Branch Rickey did when he left the Browns, and what could have been the Browns franchise if he had stayed. But he went to the Cardinals, created the farm system, developed all these great players, and the next thing you know, he started this in about 1920. Next thing you know is Cardinals win the World Series in 1926, 28, 30, 31, 34, 42, 43, 44, and 46. What a run. And then you come back and you look at, in our lifetimes, look, you know, 3 times in the 60s, you know, 3 times in the 80s, how many times in the 2000s, you know? So it's just, it's a storied tale, a story thing of baseball. And, you know, the other thing is we don't know. I include the three teams, the Cardinals, the Browns, and the Negro League Stars, Giants. But I also include those players like Yogi Berra, Earl Weaver, Dick Williams. They grew up here in St. Louis. They played here in St. Louis, and they're in the Hall of Fame.
Weren't they on the hill?
Yogi was, and Earl Weaver and Dick Williams, they both went to Beaumont High School, which Beaumont, by the way, in late 1940s and early 50s had more men in the major league than any other high school in the country. Beaumont High School right there at Vandevetter and Natural Bridge, 5 blocks from Sportsman's Park. They were known as the baseball factory because they put men in the major leagues. They were that good.
See, that's incredible, though. I mean, just that little notion alone, I wouldn't even have begun to think that. And then it all makes sense now why Earl Weaver was so good at arguing. You know, I mean, this guy grew up living it, you know? Right. You know, Ed, when you're going through and you're looking at the Negro Leagues a little bit more, what were you able to discover putting this together? Because, you know, I've just kind of started learning a little bit more about the prominence of St. Louis and with the Negro League, and it's really incredible.
Well, it is. I mean, you know, to have this many men in the Negro League in the Hall of Fame, you know, they're not as they're trying to catch up and recognize a lot of the players from the Negro Leagues. But the things that you hear, like Ken Burns' story on baseball and things, you hear Monarchs, which are in Kansas City. They weren't a bad team, nor were, you know, the Grays back east and those teams. But St. Louis was really the premier Negro League team in the first edition, I call it, or first phase of the Negro League. See, the Negro Leagues were created in Kansas City in 1920. And then by 1931, with the Depression, they basically shut down. The teams went out of existence because of the finances. And you know, it was for a lot of sports, it was like the pandemic that we just experienced in the 1930s when the Great Depression was going on, started in 28. But St. Louis won in that period, 1920 to 1931, 3 championships, and they had such great players. As I spoke of, we all know Cool Papa Bell. There's a street named after him in North St. Louis, and he was heralded here. But I mean,
he was the best. Now, was he the one? Sorry to cut you off. Is he the one he could turn the lights off and make it back in his bed before the lights?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's thanks to the legends of the great Satchel Paige, who Satchel played for so many different teams in the Negro Leagues. But he never played for the St. Louis Stars. But he did play 3 years for the St. Louis Browns in 1951, 52, and 53. And he's in the book with the Browns.
Did they put a rocker out there for him? Was he the guy?
Yes, they did. In the bullpen for old because Satchel was in his mid-40s when he came and played for the Browns. Bill Veeck had played for Bill Veeck in Cleveland in 1948 when Veeck put his Indians won the World Series. Larry Doby was the second African-American to cross the line after Jackie Robinson did it on April 15th, 1947. Larry Doby did it on July 5th. Now, the surprising thing that this kind of, I don't want to say bothers me, but it does rub me the wrong way that we don't know in St. Louis, nor do we really promote it. Okay, Larry Doby was the second. The third and fourth African-Americans across the white chalk line of a major league field were Hank Thompson and Willard Brown. They did it shortly after Larry Doby, July 16th and 17th. They each made their appearance, and by the 19th, they played out there in the same game in the same starting lineup. St. Louis, you talk about progressive, St. Louis, Bill DeWitt Sr., the father of our CEO for the Cardinals, his father ran the Browns, and they hired 2 men for the Monarchs, following the model of Jackie Robinson, because they were looking good players. So St. Louis doesn't get credit because, as I said, does anybody remember who the third and fourth man were to walk on the moon? No, and that's how these were the third and fourth men, African American men, to cross that white line. So that is something that's also that jumps out at you in this book. And throughout all the stories, I talk about baseball, the Negro Leagues or the Browns or St. Louis, because that is a moment that we should not forget. In all this turmoil that St. Louis goes through, we were progressive. We did that, and it was Bill DeWitt Sr. who made that difference.
Well, 100%, and that's why I'm just honestly, Ed, really excited about this whole book, because I think it's going to open up for the reader a lot more other doors in terms of discovering a little bit more about that prospective person or the team or even just that time period. I think it all goes hand in hand.
Oh, it does. I mean, and you as you said earlier, I did this. I highlight in the stories of these great men. They're in a chronological order because not only does it lay out their stories, but it lays out the history of baseball and how the game changed. And, from what, when you get guys like George Sisler, for 3 straight years, he averaged over 400. How many times did Hornsby hit 400, And so you get the thing of the game. And there's names that from baseball, Comiskey Park in Chicago. We all know that came back from Charles Comiskey, but you know what? Charles Comiskey played many years as part of the St. Louis Cardinals franchise. Same way with the Washington owner, Clark Griffith. Griffith Stadium in Washington for the Washington Senators, who he later owned. He had a tremendous pitching career, and part of that took place in St. Louis with that St. Louis franchise.
Well, and see, that's so cool. It's just the spider web, though, of St. Louis. I mean, the web of it all, it just entrenches it, Ed, and that's why, from everything that you've been able to be a part of and write and produce, it's really unique because there's so much history in it and you wouldn't think there would be. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Where it tells a greater story of the entire sport for being such an individualized book, about St. Louis, and it's so cool.
Well, and it's like when you really read this, you will start seeing the fingerprints of baseball's legends in history here in St. Louis, like John McGraw, the great, for 30 years, the great manager of the New York Giants. He played here in St. Louis as a player, and he had a great career. only Ted Williams and Babe Ruth have the higher career on base percentage. So all these names are all a part of St. Louis baseball history.
So cool. Well, and Ed too. Are we still the last National League Triple Crown winner? Do we still have that, or is that?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay,
Joe Medway, 1937, and we have the last National League 30-game winner in Dizzy Dean in 1934.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm telling you, it's gotta be the end. Don't bring me down.
Welcome back to Our Daily Show. 10:12 is the time on this Friday morning. Warming up 2 degrees out there. How about that? Joining us now, Greg Hagalund, Steve Litman Presents. Thank you so much for joining us via Zoom this morning, sir.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of a good tie-in for me. I used to be on Ray Hartman's boards for quite a bit of time at KTRS, and I remember you calling it a time or two.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's Ray and I go way back now. Riverfront Times days.
That's awesome. Well, and sir, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to hear more about these upcoming events.
We've got a great summer lineup coming. Kicking off on June 12th, we've got the Rush Tribute Project, which is a great tribute band for Rush. Mm-hmm. They're phenomenal. This is about the 3rd time we've brought them back to St. Louis, and that's June 12th at the Factory.
Do they do pretty good numbers? Sorry to cut you off, Greg, but they do pretty good numbers every time they come in here, don't? I mean, this is a pretty attended concert when they come to town.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and it's growing. Each time they come into town, they just get more fans, and especially since Rush isn't touring anymore right now, it gives everybody an opportunity to experience some of those great Rush songs.
Man, that's great, and that's going to be at the Factory.
It'll be at the Factory on June 12th, and tickets for all the Factory shows are available through Ticketmaster.com or thefactorystl.com.
Wonderful. And honestly, I think I might get tickets myself to that. A little Tom Sawyer never hurt nobody, Greg,
No, absolutely not. Little 2112.
That's right. Well, and going for just so we can get it clear, so it's Ticketmaster and for the Factory STL's website, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. And then going forward, what else is coming down the pipeline?
Well, we've got, if you're into a little country, we've got Travis Tritt on Friday, June 20th at the Factory.
I'll take that.
If you're into a little more esoteric, we've got John Anderson, formerly a lead singer of Yes. So it's John Anderson and the Band Geeks at the Factory on Sunday, July 13th. Robin Trower.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got some great shows.
What a lineup.
Yeah. Saturday, July 19th at the Factory. Here's a great tribute band to ABBA. It's called The Concert, a tribute to ABBA, and that will be on Friday, July 25th at the Factory. If you're into a little harmony, we've got Straight No Chaser doing the summer songs, and they'll be at the Factory on July 29th. What else do we have here? Here's a great show that I'm excited to see myself. I've never seen this gentleman live before myself, but this is Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center, and tickets available for that show are through metrotix.com.
Man, that would be a fantastic show. What date is that on?
That show is Wednesday, August 6th.
That's one that I'm going to be marking in the calendar. That's a can't miss right there.
That's a great show. And ironically, I used to work for his record company, A&M Records, back in the day. So
little full circle there.
Full circle, but I've never seen him performing live. Then we have the OJs. If you're into a little Philadelphia sound, the OJs will be performing at the Factory on Friday, August 29th. And then a real tasty show that we've got coming into the Sheldon, and that's Roger McGuinn of the Byrds.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Another great show, and that's Wednesday, August 1st, and tickets for the Sheldon are available through metrotix.com.
The Sheldon is a heck of a venue, too. I was able to go to a few shows there, and really just the way it's set up, it is a nice place to go and watch a good show.
The Sheldon?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just had a show there Wednesday night called Black Violin, and it was sold out, and it was a great show. And like you said, it's a great venue. It's acoustically perfect.
Yeah.
It's just a neat old building, and then they're under renovations right now. They're adding on to the other side of the Sheldon, to the theater side, or renovating the other side, I should say. And I got a personal tour of the new renovations, and it's really going to be an exciting place and feature the art gallery a little better and some other things that are going to go on.
And do they still have their that restaurant or that little lounge area off to the right when you walk in the doors at the Sheldon?
Right.
Man,
that's the part that's under renovation.
Gotcha. Okay. Really cool.
Yeah. And then what else do we have coming up? If you're into older classic movies, I should say, we're going to be showing Napoleon Dynamite, the movie, and we've got the three main characters, Napoleon Dynamite, Uncle Rico, and Pedro will be there to answer questions and do a Q&A and
no way. You are hitting right into the demo here, Greg. Hold on here. Yeah. What date is that, and when am I getting my tickets for this?
Well, I'll tell you what. We got October 9th, Thursday, October 9th. That's at the Factory as well, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's a show.
And this is a kind of a trend right now. We just did a couple of months ago or a month ago. We played Princess Bride, and then Carrie Ellis was the lead of that movie. Then he came in and he did about 45 minutes to an hour of questions and answers and some fun stuff. So, Chevy Chase has gone out and done it with Vacation. So it's kind of a trend that's happening right now. And we're fortunate enough to have the Napoleon Dynamite live on October 9th at the Factory. And
wow.
What else? Got a couple of favorites coming back. Little River Band will be back on October 25th. That show's selling out really well. And we just had the other night Who's Live Anyway, which is a live version of Whose Line Is It? And that is going to be on October 30th. We're bringing them back. And since it's all improv, it's a completely different show each time. So we'll be bringing them back on Thursday, October 30th. Who's Live Anyway? And that's at the Factory as well.
Man, these are just, I mean, you just hit us with about every show that you could want to go see this summer
Yeah,
and into
no,
the
it's
fall.
going to be a great summer and great fall. And we're not done yet. We've got some other shows that we're still adding, and we'll have updates on those as well.
Well, and you know, Greg, you know, I just knowing a little bit about you, just from hearing you and Ray talk a couple of times and you know, just reading a little bit of you, you've had an opportunity to really get your hands on some things when it comes to event promotion and this type of work. And what makes the St. Louis region and just some of the venues that are around here beneficial for what you're trying to accomplish? Because it seems like these are all fitting, you know, really hand in hand with the select artists, their demo, and really just what the region needs at that time.
Right. Well, St. Louis, you know, because of the radio base here back in the 70s and 80s, was very important to being able to bring bands to St. Louis. Back in those days, though, we were venue poor. We had the old Checker Dome and the old Kiel Auditorium. So we were venue poor. Now we're venue rich. I mean, we've got 3 beautiful arenas with the Family Arena, the Chaffetz Arena, and of course the Enterprise Center. Mm-hmm. You've got the Fox Theater, you've got the revamped Stiefel Opera House, you've got Riverport Amphitheater or Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. So, you know, and the Factory, a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art club, the Pageant, Delmar Hall. So you've got a lot of places to bring a lot of bands and a lot of attractions in, and it makes St. Louis all that more important on the concert maps.
Well, it really does. I mean, when you lined off with, you know, just some of the names you were going with Travis Tritt and then the front man from Yes. I mean, those two are just like right away. I'm like, I'm getting tickets to that too. And
right.
What I think so unique is bringing in the other aspects, like the Napoleon Dynamite move. I would have never even thought about that, but that's going to be a sellout.
Yeah, no, it's doing very well, and you know, everybody will have to wonder if we're going to have llamas and tater tots there that night.
Tina's got to make an appearance, I think, the llama.
Right.
You know, and with how long you've been able to do this and just some of the work you've done, how has technology changed some of this? That's what I'm kind of curious about, because it seems like you've really been able to ride the wave of how to communicate and how to get the word out, too.
Well, of course, social media has revolutionized in the business. The ability to target and segment audiences through Facebook makes it a very cost-efficient way to promote. And radio continues to develop in terms of podcasting. You know, the same thing that you have for RiverBender.com. I mean, the fact that we're able to do this visually and talk about shows, you know, there's so many new things due to technology that we just didn't have before. You know, you basically had radio and posters was the main way they used to promote shows. And then if you got really imaginative, you put little flyers under windshield wipers. That was the pièce de résistance in terms of concert promotion.
I did pro wrestling for a long time, and that's still the way that they get it done. You know, they'll find those cutouts, and we'll find some cars. You know.
Yep, exactly. Bring the message to the people.
That's right. And you know, going forward, is there any deals or anything like that through the Factory that you know of, or like if you buy 2 shows or 3, you get?
No,
okay.
Unfortunately. It's difficult for them to do that because different promoters are booking shows there, and they don't have a common interest in terms of that. But no, there's nothing. There's certainly nothing right now. That's for sure.
Well, and honestly, you don't need to, because when you're throwing out those names, that's kind of a let's just get out there and go have some fun. And when it comes to setting this up, what does that look like for you? How long does it take? You know, is it a year out process? Is it 6 months to line this up?
You know, the timeline's gotten longer over the years, but I would say that we're working on a 6-month timeline from the time Steve Litman finds out about the show, negotiates the show, gets the show routed, gets the deal done, and then turns it over to me to do the marketing, then we're working on anywhere from 4 to 6 month timeline before the show actually happens. Then.
Wow. That's and it's good to kind of know that too, because for when we talk to the amphitheater and others that do promote shows, it's just interesting to hear where timelines are and just seeing how the machine works a little bit too. That's fascinating.
Yeah, the amphitheaters are working on a little longer timeline because they've got those are bigger shows and they have to. It's more difficult to route them. They've got multiple trucks and they've got. They can only travel so much between cities, et cetera. So they're working on a little bit longer timeline, but it's all in that 6 to 9 month range.
Well, it's just really fascinating more than anything for me. Sorry, that was a CJ question, but my mind just wanders, Greg, Back into to these shows, though, what are you looking for? I mean, it's like picking a child, but if you could pick one, I know you mentioned that there was one that you haven't seen yet in person, but if you could pick a couple, which one would it be?
Well, the Herb Alpert show, for sure, I'll definitely would be excited about and probably make sure I have my own ticket and can sit down and enjoy the show instead of walking around all night. The OJs, I certainly I would be excited to see the OJs. The Robin Trower is always a treat. He's and such a nice guy too. So we're looking forward to seeing Robin. Back in the record industry when I worked in the record business, Chrysalis Records was one of the labels I represented, and Robin Trower, of course, Bridge of Sighs came out just as I was in the record business, and I remember I did a in-store at the old Music Land at Northwest Plaza, and we literally filled the mall with people for an in-store where he did autographs, and we gave away a guitar, and it was a big day, and so we've Robin and I go way back.
That's incredible. That's just incredible. Well, and I got to ask you while I have you now, and before we circle on back to the front, just for some of the upcoming shows, because we're going to put these all in a write up on RiverBender to make sure we can get our folks out there and make sure they're aware.
Good.
Is there been one or two acts that you just would never work with? You don't have to tell me who they are, but has there been one bad experience where you're like, it cannot get much worse than this?
Well, of course, I was at Contemporary Productions when we had Riverport Amphitheater, and the debut year, of course, we had Guns N' Roses. So it doesn't get much worse than that. You have civil disobedience and a riot. That pretty well checks off all the marks on the list.
But I will say, Greg, you guys, because of that, have it named Riverport Theater or Amphitheater to this day because I think of just that show.
Yeah. No, it was. I had been at a business meeting that day of the show. I'd been down at Anheuser-Busch, as a matter of fact, and I came back to the theater to see the show. I was excited to see the show myself, and I was wearing a suit. And so after he had done Jungle and a couple other songs, I left. I just was tired and had seen the songs I wanted to see, and so I left. And then, of course, I got a phone call from Irv Zuckerman and Steve Shankman around 1:00 in the morning that said, get up, take a shower, shave, get back to the theater. We've got a little bit of an issue here. So
man.
I was back organizing a press conference to put our position out there right away.
That is so fascinating. Just a little bit of some Riverport history for some folks today, too. I appreciate that, Greg.
Sure.
Well,
sure.
And before I let you go, I want to get back to a couple of the shows that are coming up and really make sure we hit our audience on those today, because we had a few people that when you said Travis Tritt, he performed at Alton a couple of years ago, and he was just great. And I know that you hit a couple of boxes with some of their interest already.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, Travis Tritt is going to be a great show. That's June 20th at the factory. So he'll bring a great show to St. Louis.
Really cool. And so, real quick, just while we have you, if we could go through a couple of the next this summer shows, and then we can link that back into our article, and we can keep moving forward here, Greg, if that's okay.
Sure. Let's see, where did we leave off? Rush Tribute Project, June 12th.
That's right.
Travis Tritt, June 20th. John Anderson is July 13th. Robin Trower is July 19th, all at the factory. The concert, a tribute to ABBA, is July 25th. Straight No Chaser, July 29th.
That'll be a big one. There's a lot of people that follow them.
We did it last year, and it did very well, and I think it will continue to grow. Of course, where they clean up is doing their Christmas show.
Yeah, that's really where they clean
But this
house.
is a new thing for them, and it's a cute show. They do... they did theme songs from shows in the 80s and 90s and a few other things.
That's cool.
Herb Albert at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center is August 6th. OJ's August 29th at the Factory. Roger McGuinn at the Sheldon on October 1st. Napoleon Dynamite Live, October 9th at the Factory. And then I think we ended it up with Little River Band on October 25th, and Who's Live Anyway on Thursday, October 30th at the Factory.
Well, and thank you, Greg, because we are going to link all of those. And there's a couple of shows that I'm already going to get tickets for now, because that just sounds like a really great lineup. And thank you so much for joining us and filling us in a little bit more on Riverport, too, today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime. And we look forward to talking to your audience again in the near future.
Oh, please do so. And we'll link everything again, folks, on an article on RiverBender.com in case you're just tuning in and missed part of it. We'll take a quick break. Greg, again, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.
Great. Thank you very much, CJ.
No problem. More Daily Show on this Friday morning next.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1990.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to Our Daily Show on this Friday morning. Coming down the pipeline on May the 3rd in Alton, Pro Wrestling Epic, Hot Dogs and Handshakes 4. Back in the studio promoting them with Herzog.
Have you ever seen Power Rangers? One of the show with they got the men and they have like their different colors.
Yeah.
And they had like colorful bad guys, right? Mm-hmm. That's Lord Zed right here. I'm looking at him. He's hitting in this mic right now. Hiding. He's in this mic right now. He wants my stick because I think he had a stick with the big Z on it. You know what? Herzog. You know what? Lord Zed, you're all right. You're all right. I don't know you. All right. What was the question?
How are you looking for May 3rd, and good morning?
I am looking, isn't it April 3rd? It's April 3rd. I'm looking at April 3rd right now. All right.
It's April 4th.
How dare you?
Hot Dog and Handshakes 4. I am very sorry, and please someone's help. April the 4th, or May the 4th, you're making me nervous. May the 3rd, it is April the 4th. I got to know a little bit more about you, Herzog, before we talk about this show. I just got to.
Okay.
Understood. Okay. So take me through your time at Pro Wrestling Epic and how, are you okay?
So, I had the belt for a time. I wrestled Shane Douglas. I wrestled Neil like 10 times. You know Neil, little tiny baby boy. Neil.
Yes,
he looks like a gristle. If a gristle was a person, that's Neil. It's a little tiny. He's a pustule. You know, and he's good to be thrown about, and he's very good at bleeding as well.
I saw those photos. I've seen some photos.
I mean, to be honest with you, I've scraped Neil off the ground in many different states on many different parts of the country, and like He keeps threatening to quit, but I assume that we're probably going to fight again at some point. Neil. Is Neil?
Neil. We're calling you out, Neil. Well,
so that and then for a while, I think that I died. I had an out of body experience at least. I saw myself lying there on the ground, metaphorically. And I disappeared for some time. You and Lenny can talk about how I disappeared for some time. And then I started popping my head back up. And for real, since for the last year and a half, 2 years, that's about how long I've been terrorizing Pro Wrestling Epic. And I don't really plan on stopping anytime soon. And that's what I do best. And that's what I enjoy the most, Lord Zed, is terrorizing Pro Wrestling Epic.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Did you find yourself after the sabbatico? I mean, you go away, you're metaphorically looking down.
I found myself probably for worse, I would say. I found myself worse. I discovered who I actually was, and it's this right here.
Oh, well, so what's going on in the ring, now with all this going on, man? I mean,
a lot more biting and scratching and clawing and kicking and choking people with my hair and my hands and all the other extremities I have. You know what I'm doing? I have been doing is I wish you were over here, because if you were over here, I could test this out on you. I could demonstrate to everybody what I'm talking about. It's called, well, I don't really call it anything.
Okay.
It's a nerve hold. I learned it on top of Mount Skukumaka. Up there, that's where I learned it at.
You've really...
Hey, whoa. All right, and then all you do, right?
Okay.
All you do is you take your hand like this, all like that, and you curl it a little bit, right? You curl it right there, and then you get behind him, and you just get right on the meat of their shoulder, right with these two fingers, and you just go, ah! And that's what I've been doing to people since I came back from my sabbatical. And you know what? I don't know why I didn't do it before. It's the greatest thing I've ever discovered. I didn't come up with it. Okay. I'm not going to tell you who told it to me.
Does it? I mean, whenever you're doing this, and I'm following you here, and I hope you figured. Does it do something to you in the ring when you're doing that to somebody?
It does something to them more than it does something to me, but I will not lie to you. It does do something to me. I can't quite put my finger on it, but you know how when you take like a cast off after you broke your arm and you scratch it real good for the first time. That's kind of how it feels. You know what I mean? Kind of feels like, yeah, finally. You know what I mean? Like, I've never actually broken a bone, but I imagine that's what it feels like. I imagine.
I haven't broken. It should feel that way. This is what
You've never broken a bone because you're a soft little girly man. I have never broken a bone because I am made of steel, molten steel. I'm talking to you, Zed. Sorry.
It's okay.
Not sorry.
I know you aren't. So, where do you come from? I feel like that's an appropriate question.
Let me ask you. Let me put that one to you. Where do you think that I come from? What's my accent sound like to you?
Everywhere.
Let me speak in my native Toyunji. All right. Now, what dialect is that? CJ.
I don't. So you're taking on Camaro Jackson here in a couple of days. And have you faced Camaro Jackson before?
First time I ever faced Camaro Jackson was December, the last time we fought, and I tell you what.
I don't know, I asked you.
It was, I'm asking the world because I can't remember. I don't really understand your calendar, so these Mays and Marches and numbers and whatever, that's not really my thing. That's not really what I do. That's not how I keep time.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
How cold is that outside?
48 degrees.
Well, it shouldn't be that cold in April, but when you're gonna,
I hear you.
Yeah, but anyway, December, me and Camaro Jackson crashed together about 10 or 12 times, maybe closer to 20. We just kept crashing together, and we crashed together, and we were a boulder, a rock, and a hard place, just crashing together, all right? Bashing together, you might say.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what happened? Nothing. We crashed into each other. And then I can't remember exactly what happened, but all I remember is there was just like green kid just flying at me, and I was punching him, and he was punching him, and I was choke slamming him, he was like doing his thing, and it was chaos, and I kind of loved it. But this time on May the 3rd, I need to beat him. I watched that video back, and I did not like what I saw. Camaro did nothing wrong. You know who did something wrong? This one. This one! This one wasn't sharp enough. This one was not destructive enough. This one was not mean enough. I need to stop respecting Camaro. I respect him too much. Respect is not something that Herzog can feel. So this time, no respect. Just slaps to the face. Just kicks to the nuts. Just scratches to the eyes. Just death. Death to Camaro. I'm a Ford man anyway.
Well, can we pause? We'll take a quick break here, and we're going to come back and talk about this a little bit more right after this on RiverBender.com.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. 10:48, a little bit of change. On this Friday morning, we're back with Herzog. You like the song?
No, because I was in Colorado during, I think it was COVID, possibly, I don't remember, and I was listening to that song. It was actually the Yonder Mountain String Band version of that song, and somebody hit me, and that's the only car accident I've ever been in my entire life, so that song gives me nightmares. And you know what? The girl in the car with me had golden hair, and she is a nice lady. Hi.
Coming down the pipeline on May the 3rd is Pro Wrestling Epics Hot Dog and Handshakes 4, and we were talking, Herzog, a little bit about your match with Camaro. And Camaro's a big dude, man. And I'm not I know, you are very big yourself. I'm not taking away your size at all. And I just want to let you know that. It's just, Camaro has done some really good stuff, and so have you. This last match ended in kind of a way that you didn't like for it to end. Do you have a strategy?
To be fair, I don't think Camaro liked how it ended either. And Camaro is somebody, you say he's strong, he's somebody who could definitely lift me over his head if you really, really wanted to. And my goal is to not let him lift me up over my head. My strategy is is to not let me lift him up over my head and have him think, wait. You work for Camaro? You're trying to get my strategy? No. You know what? No. You know what, Camaro, you know what? Lift me up over your head all you want to. Because I'm going to come at you with a...
Okay.
I hope that you didn't hear that, Camaro, because that's exactly how it's going to go down.
I'm not going to send you a Facebook message about what's going to go down in a few minutes, Camaro. That's not going to happen. You know, if you do win this match coming up on May the...
then I'll be champ.
You will be champion. What does your reign look like?
If I remember to bring the belt, and if I don't sell it, I think that I'll look pretty good having that belt dangle off my stick. But then it makes my stick unbalanced, and so I'll probably get frustrated at my stick being unbalanced. So I'll probably maybe hook it onto some sort of belt, and then I'll probably hire somebody to carry it. And by hire, I mean threaten until they do it for free. Which is how I get most of the things in life. You know what I mean? That's how you do it, right?
It seems like it's working for you.
What was the question?
You answered it.
Okay. Death and destruction and doom! Lots of doom! Is how I'm going to defeat Camaro Jackson on May 3rd on Pro Wrestling Epic!
It's come after. So what? You win. Okay? You win. It's amazing.
When I win. When I win.
That's right. You got more matches after Camaro, man.
Most likely.
And there's more Pro Wrestling Epic coming down.
All throughout the summer, we're doing state fairs.
Are you ready for those?
I can't wait to do the state fairs. I win every time.
This is going to be
I win the state fairs.
Can I ask you a question, please? Do not get mad at me.
Okay.
Do they allow you at these things?
I'm very sneaky.
Okay, that's fair. So
have you seen how good at skulking I am, right? Skulking and slithering around. All right, I do it. You know what? Trying to get my strategy. This is my out of the ring strategy. All right, I'm slithering, skulking, some bitch. All right.
Okay.
What was the question?
How do you get into these things?
Oh yeah, that was it. Sometimes I dig a hole under the fence, you know what I mean? If I'm in a climbing mood, I'll climb. One time, and I swear that this happened. I jumped over, one leap, 8-footer, with my stuff behind me. That's how I got it in the Pinckneyville.
What, the prison?
No, the state fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a prison in Pinckneyville?
There is.
Oh, okay.
I think. No, that's Perryville.
I don't know what to do with that information.
Maybe I gave you wrong.
There at the Pinckneyville State Fair, they have these little train tracks, and they have these little miniature trains, and that's nice.
That is nice. So when are you going to be with Pro Wrestling Epic next?
Every time?
Every time.
May 3rd, I think. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to somewhere near Chicago, and I'm fighting Dan the Man, and Dan the Man... We ain't got time for this, but I remember what you did in Da Nang, Dan, the man. I remember what you did, and I'm not going to let it stand. So it's Zawa Pro Wrestling tomorrow in somewhere up north Illinois, kind of by Chicago-ish. Me and Vince Dan the man. And then on the 14th, me and Buck Skinner, I finally get my hands on Buck Skinner. I know you have no context for that, but Buck Skinner, I've been waiting for a year to get, I'm going to Japan. Oh, I'm a big New Japan guy. You know what? You're back in Arkansas now, and I'm gonna waste my chance to get my hands on you. April 19th, 17th, something 10th, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then May 3rd, Camaro Jackson. And then all throughout May, there are PWE shows. It's May the 10th, they're in Somewhereville, USA. And the 17th, I think, is in Missouri, which means I need to get my stupid license so I can fight people in Missouri again. And then I think that there's something that I have at the end of March, but I don't know if that's for PWE anymore because I don't really keep a good schedule. I'm not going to lie. I do forget things a lot. And so that's a big failing in my career. But look at me.
Couldn't imagine. There is a May 10th event in Centralia. And
yep, that's it.
But the big one's going to be right here in Alton, and tickets are going quick. You are going to get to see yours truly, not me, Herzog. He will be taking on the Quad Father.
Yeah.
Camaro. Are you the main event? We'll find out.
Yeah. I think I have to be now, don't I? No way, I don't want to be main event.
Thank you. But you know what? I think that it's going to be a good time, and I know that you don't. I know that there's like this weird thing where I feel like you're getting ready to tear my face off, and I really respect that from you. But you know, what are your thoughts to the people that love Herzog? I mean, there's got to be a few out there that want you to win.
Why?
I don't know.
You can smell me, right?
I can't.
And I think that most of them probably can. Yeah. And you still like me?
I don't know.
It's the hair. I understand it's the hair, but you know what? I'm getting to that age where it's going bye-bye. So once I got that, once I don't got that, you got nothing to cheer for me about. So I'll just be the true creature that I've always been destined to be in my own head.
Well, and that's okay.
I made friends with Lord Zed.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
We do know that the main event will actually be the tag team championship matches, which is the Hooligans against PME.
I know the Hooligans very well.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're like out of the five, they're
they're there.
Right. History, good history.
Good history.
Good history. Not like the bad history I make with everybody else. Camaro.
Well, and see, we're almost out of time, but you will be live Saturday, May the 3rd at the Franklin Lodge, which is right down in Alton. You better get your tickets because these things do sell out so fast.
I also think it's noteworthy that the last show that PWE had last weekend or 2 weekends ago or whenever that was sold out in Granite City, and the next one in September is sold out as well. So these PWE tickets tend to go fast.
They do.
Steal them. I mean, steal them.
I wouldn't steal them. With that being said, Herzog, what's your final message to Camaro Jackson?
Doski roka da bagate, sko loko da baraka no toko horoko, tarhisko doro, doraka darik, boko roka da. Bring the same game you brought last time. Because that's what I'm bringing. The same game you brought last time. And let's kill each other.
We're going to take a quick break on that note. Pro Wrestling Epic Hot Dog and Handshakes 4, live in Alton at the Franklin Lodge, Saturday, May the 3rd.
Baska!
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm the entertainer, and I know just where I stand. Another serenader and another long-haired band. Today I am your champion. I may have won your hearts, but I know the game and you forget my name. I won't be here in another year if I don't stay on the charts.
I don't know what happened, but we're here now. With that being said, we're out of time today. I am going to hopefully make it safely to my vehicle after that last interview. And really just thank you all for a great week. Election season's over, and it's, back to reality on Monday. We got some good shows, and it's time to start focusing on what's positive again in the Riverbend region and really just focusing on the growth. It's there, right? So until we talk again this weekend, have a wonderful Friday. It's party day. Try your best to stay out of jail.